Once upon a time there was a poor woman who gave birth to a son. When the child was born, people saw the crown of his head still in the bundle, and it was prophesied that at the age of 16 he would marry a princess. At that time, the king wanted to understand the hearts of the people, so he moved. The king asked the villagers if there was anything strange in the village. They replied, "Recently in the village there was a baby boy whose head was still in a bundle when he was born. It was prophesied that when he was 16 years old he would get married." Princess. Being inherently cruel, the king was very angry when he heard that. He immediately went to the child and number 39's parents and number 39's house and pretended to pity the child. The king said, "You guys are poor, let me raise and educate you." The other couple refused at first, but then saw the stranger offering them a lot of gold, so they thought, "My son must be a good person. If he is raised and educated, he will surely make a career out of it." So in the end, the couple agreed to give their child to a stranger. The king placed the baby in a chest and continued on his way. One night, the water was deep, and the king threw the ark into the water, thinking, "So I have freed my daughter from this reluctant son-in-law." But the trunk did not sink. It floated with the current like a small ship, and not a single drop of water penetrated inside. The ark kept floating like that. The ark got stuck in a watermill 2 miles from the capital. Luckily at that moment, the miller boy saw it. He used his hook and pulled it in, happy to find gold and jewels, but when he opened the chest, he only saw a healthy, handsome child. He carried the baby to the miller and his wife. This couple did not have children, so they were very happy and said, "It is true that God still loves us." The baby grew up in the love and care of the miller couple. One day, it was raining heavily and the king had to go into the mill to avoid the rain. The king asked the miller and his wife if the tall young man was their son. They replied, "No, Your Majesty. That was the child I picked up 16 years ago. It was in a trunk that drifted along the water and got stuck at the gate of the mill. Our housekeeper saw him and picked him up." The king immediately thought of the unlucky boy he had ordered thrown into the water. He said, "You are gentle people, I want to ask for help from my son. Can you bring a letter to the queen? Here, I and number 39'll reward you with 2 gold coins for that." The adoptive parents replied, "Yes, we will do as the king wishes." The son was told by his parents to prepare to deliver the letter. In the letter the king sent to the queen, it was written, and quote, "When you receive this letter, immediately kill the courier and bury him. This order must be carried out before I return." End quote. The young man took the letter and immediately set out, but along the way he got lost in the vast forest. In the twilight darkness, he saw a flickering light. He walked in that direction. When he got closer, it was a small house. Entering the house, he saw an old woman sitting by the fireplace. His appearance made the old woman startled and frightened and asked, "Where do you come from? Where else do you want to go?" The young man replied, "I came here from the mill. I was ordered to bring a letter to the queen. I would like to sleep here tonight, because I got lost in the forest. I and number 39 am so sorry. I got lost in the robbers and number 39 house. When they come back, they will kill me." The boy said, "It and number 39's the same for everyone. I and number 39 am not afraid." I and number 39. Am so tired, I can and number 39. T keep walking anymore. So he stretched his legs and fell asleep right on the couch. Moments later, the robbers came back, angrily asking which stranger dared to sleep there. The old woman said, "Oh my God! The boy didn't and #39 T do anything wrong. He had to carry a letter to the Queen but got lost in the forest. Seeing how guilty he was, I told him to stay here." The robbers immediately read the letter and saw that they had to immediately kill the person carrying the letter. Although he was cruel, the robber was also moved by pity. He immediately tore up the letter and immediately wrote another letter saying that when this messenger arrived, he must organize a wedding to marry the princess to that person before the king returned. Then the robbers let him sleep peacefully on the couch until morning. The next morning, when he woke up, the robbers gave him the letter and showed him the way to the palace. Receiving the king and number 39's letter, the queen immediately organized a wedding ceremony for the lucky postman. The wedding ceremony was held lavishly in the royal palace. The princess lives happily and contentedly with her handsome and funny husband. A short time later, the king returned to the palace, only to learn that the prophecy had come true and the wedding ceremony with the princess had been performed. The king asks, "Why is it like this? In the letter, I ordered something completely different." The queen took the letter and showed it to the king. Seeing the letter, the king immediately knew that the letter had been swapped, so he called the groom to ask where the letter was written by the king himself and why he brought this letter to the queen. The young man replied, "Your Majesty, I don't and number 39 T know anything about that. Perhaps at night while I was sleeping soundly in the forest, someone came to swap letters." Angry, the king said loudly, "Why is the story so easy? Whoever wants to marry the princess must go to the underworld to get 3 golden hairs from the devil and bring them here to me. If you can do that, you can still return to the palace to live with the princess." The king intended to do so to quickly get rid of that guy forever. But the other good child said, "Surely I will get the devil and number 39's 3 golden hairs. I and number 39 am not afraid of the devil." Immediately after that he greeted everyone and set off. Just arriving at the gate of a big city, he was questioned by the guards. "What job do you do and what else do you know to do besides your main job?" He replied, "I know everything in life." The guard continued, "Then please tell us why the well in our market used to always flow out wine, but now the well is dry and there is no water, let alone wine." He said, "Then you will know why. Wait until I get home, I and number 39 I'll tell you." Then he continued on his way. Arriving in front of the city gate of another city, the guards asked him what job he was good at and what else he could do besides his main job. He said again, "I know everything in life." The guard said, "Then please tell us why the apple tree in this city used to be lush and full of golden apples, but now it is bare, without even a leaf." He replied, "Then you will know why. Wait until I get home, I and number 39 I'll tell you." He continued on his way. Arriving at the bank of a large river, the boatman asked him what he did and what else he could do besides that job. He replied, "I know everything in life." The ferryman said, "Then please tell me why I keep ferrying passengers back and forth across this river without seeing anyone coming to take my turn." The young man replied, "Then you will know why. Wait until I get home, I and number 39. I'll tell you. Crossing to the other side of the river, he saw the way to the underworld. The gates of the underworld were dark, filled with smoke everywhere. The devil has no home. There was only the maid sitting on a large armchair, her appearance not looking cruel. She asks, "What do you want here?" "I want to get 3 golden hairs from the devil, otherwise I will lose my wife." That and number 39. A bold idea. If the devil comes home and sees you here, you and number 39, LL lose your head. But okay, seeing that you and number 39, nice, I and number 39, LL find a way to help. She cast a spell to turn him into an ant and told him, "Hide in the folds of my skirt and you will be safe." He replied, "Yes, that would be great. But I have 3 things I want to know. One is that the well that was filled with wine suddenly dried up without a single drop of water. Second, why was the apple tree in that city that used to be green and full of yellow fruit, suddenly bare, without even a single leaf? Third, why does the ferryman have to carry passengers back and forth across the same river without anyone taking his turn?" The old woman said, "These 3 questions are really difficult. Be very quiet and listen to what the devil says." As soon as it got dark, the devil returned home. As soon as he entered the house, he immediately noticed a strange smell. He asks, "Damn, I smell like human flesh, is that true?" It searched every corner but found nothing. The old woman pretended to yell at him, "The house was just cleaned and tidy, but as soon as I got home I made a mess." Always thinking about the smell of human flesh. Come sit down and eat dinner. After eating and drinking, the demon felt tired. He leaned his head on the old woman and number 39's pillow and asked her to catch lice for him. Just a moment later, he fell asleep, snoring loudly. Only then did the old woman pluck out a strand of his blonde hair and put it aside. Feeling pain, the demon was startled and asks, "What are you planning to do?" The old woman said, "I dreamed about something bad. I was so scared that I grabbed your hair." The demon said, "What did you dream about?" "I dreamed that a well in the market was pouring out wine and suddenly it dried up, not even a drop." Don and number 39, understand who caused it. The demon replied, "It and number 39's nothing. If you knew in life, it wouldn't and #39 matter." At the bottom of the well, there was a toad hiding in the crevice of a large rock. Kill that toad and the wine will flow again. The old woman continued to catch lice for the demon. Waiting for him to fall asleep, his snores vibrating the window glass, the old woman pulled out the second hair. "It hurts so much," the demon yelled. "God, why does it hurt so much? What are you doing?" The old woman replied, "Please Don and number 39, be angry. I was dreaming and suddenly woke up." The demon asks, "What dream again?" "In my dream, I saw in the kingdom an apple tree that was flourishing, bearing golden fruit, but suddenly it withered, not even a bud, not a leaf. So what was the reason?" "It and number 39's nothing. If you knew in life, it wouldn't and #39 matter. There is a mouse chewing on the tree stump. Kill that mouse and the tree will bear golden fruit again. If mice continue to gnaw on tree roots like that, the tree will die." "Hey, but Don and number 39 dream anymore. Let me sleep peacefully. If you wake me up again I will slap you on the ear." The old woman promised to let him sleep in peace and catch lice for him again. When he was sound asleep and snoring, she grabbed a strand of hair by the base and pulled out the third golden hair. It was so painful that the demon raised his hand and tried to slap the old woman and number 39's ear. The old woman said sweetly to him, "What can I do if I and number 39 am miserable and have nightmares?" The demon became curious and asked, "So what was so terrible in your dream?" "In my dream, I heard a boatman complaining about why he had to continue ferrying passengers back and forth without anyone coming to replace him." "Who caused that?" The demon replied, "Oh my God, why so stupid? If there was a passenger who wanted to cross the river, he just had to press the oar into that person and number 39's hand for them to take, and he was out of debt. The other person will replace him as a ferryman." Now everything was done. 3 golden hairs were pulled out. 3 questions were answered. The old woman let the demon sleep peacefully until morning. When the demon left again and disappeared from the house, she immediately took out the ant from the folds of her skirt and magically transformed it back into its human form. She said, "These are 3 golden hairs I got for you." As for the 3 answers, you probably heard them clearly when the demon spoke. He replied, "Yes, I heard what he said. I and number 39 am sure you won, and number 39 forget those things." The old woman continued, "Consider my help finished. Now I can go to my work." He sincerely thanked the old woman for helping him overcome the difficulties in his crisis. He immediately left the underworld and headed straight home, filled with joy because everything went as expected. When he met the ferryman again, he asked him to tell him the answer he had promised before. The lucky guy said, "First, take me to the other shore, then I will tell you how to get rid of the ferry debt." Setting foot on the other side, he told the ferryman the devil and number 39's answer. When someone takes the boat across the river again, press the oar into that person and number 39's hand. The lucky guy continued his journey, reaching the city where there was a tree with no fruit, and the guards were waiting for him to tell him the solution. He repeated to them what he himself heard the demon say, "There is a mouse gnawing on the roots of a tree. Kill it, then the tree will produce golden apples again." The guards thanked him profusely, and to reward him, they gave him 2 donkeys loaded with gold. Finally he arrived at the city where the well had dried up. He told the guards what the demon had said about this. "At the bottom of the well there is a toad hiding behind a big stone. You must find it and kill it." Then the wine flowed out again as much as before. The guards thanked him and gave him 2 donkeys loaded with gold. Walking and walking, he finally arrived home. The wife was overjoyed because her husband and number 39's intentions when he left were all fulfilled. The 3 golden hairs of the devil that the king said he also had in his hand, he now brought to the king. The king and number 39's joy increased when he saw 4 donkeys loaded with gold behind him. The king said, "You have fulfilled the conditions I set. Now you can stand shoulder to shoulder with the princess." "Dear son-in-law, where did you get so much gold? Please tell me. This place is truly a priceless treasure." He said, "I got these things from the other side of the river. Instead of sand, there is gold there." Greed arose. The king asked, "Can I go there?" The bridegroom replied, "Your Majesty, take as much as you want." His Majesty told the ferryman to take him to the other side, where he could fill the large and small bags he was carrying. The greedy king quickly set out. When he reached the riverbank, the king waved to the ferryman to cross the river. The boat docked. The boatman invited the king to get on the boat. When arriving at the other shore, the boatman pressed the oar into the king and number 39's hand, then jumped ashore. Because of greed, he must be guilty. Now the king must row a boat to carry passengers across the river. So does the king still row boats now? If not the king himself, then who else? There is no one who holds the oar instead of the king. Thank you for joining us for today's fairy tale. We hope these stories bring joy and meaning to your day. If you love our channel, please hit the subscribe button so you won't miss any exciting tales. Wishing you a good night and sweet dreams. See you in the next story.